Good morning. I'm starting the day with some logo designs. I'm working on a brand identity project, so today I'm in the logo design stage. The brand I'm working on is a soil and agroforestry consultant. I think that's how you pronounce it. And I wanted to share it with you because the way I'm working on this project is a bit different than what I typically do. So I've already built the brand strategy, which you know is a non-negotiable for me when I do any brand identity project. I'm in fact going to show you. I'm going to insert the clip here. So with this done, I'm now working on the visual identity, which has like the logos, color palettes, typography, illustrations, like all of the visual assets that make a brand. And in other brand identity projects, I typically start with the logo designs and then move on to the colors, typographies, icons, etc. However, this time the client is very specific on what he wants, so I'm starting the other way around. Since he's a consultant and he does a lot of data visualization and data modeling, he really needed a system that supported that and a brand identity that really encouraged him to keep up with the aesthetic. So for this brand, the main focal point is not going to be the logo, because the logo is not going to be featured that much. The focal point of the brand is going to be that system. So to me, it was much more important to get the illustrations right and to be able to express the brand identity through that system than just create a logo. So I started with all of that. I started with the brand assets instead of the logos to build that foundation, and from that system I'll then extract the brand logos. I'm probably gonna blur most of it, but as you can see, I've built pretty much everything except for the logos. I will show you a sneak peek of the icons because I really like them, and once it's live I'll do a case study on this because the concept for the brand is really quite cool. So yeah, I'm gonna spend all morning with the logo designs and concepts, and I have here a notebook which is where I wrote all of like my ideas. I can show this because it's like the logo mark and it doesn't say the name, but yeah, this is like some of the logo sketches that I did. What I do is I just brain dump a lot of designs horribly drawn with like a pen, and then I choose my favorite ones, and those I export into Adobe Illustrator, and I just design those and perfect those to see if they really work or if I need like more time. So for instance, here I tried a couple of concepts, and this one, I think, yes, this is highlighted, so I chose that. I have like a concept idea off of this. So I'm just gonna take a picture, put it into Adobe, not even take a picture. I'm just gonna draw them in Adobe. So this is what I'm gonna be up to. If you've been here a while, you know that these picture frames have been empty for like 3 months. It took me 2 months to just hang them and then another 2 months to decide what to put in them. But I finally gave myself an ultimatum and I chose what I wanted to print. So I knew I wanted something that was green to match my bedding. So I jumped into Pexels and I chose a couple of pictures that fit the vibe. Turns out it was harder than I imagined to find 2 pictures that were similar but looked cohesive. But then I found these 2. I just put them into a file and I cropped it so they would have like the correct sizing. And then I just went to a shop nearby and I printed them. These are the pictures. I'm now gonna hang them because I want to film some content in the afternoon, so just want to have like a cute setup, and I feel like that's bothering me. Like, it's not horrible, but at the same time it's bad. So let's go. So I've been recently working on updating my portfolio. I used to have it on like a regular Figma file, but I decided that I wanted to move it to Figma slides because I feel like that's going to be easier to keep up with. So since I have to do the work of moving everything into Figma slides, which is part of Figma, but I don't know, into like a different file, I decided to redesign some of the things and actually make it a template. I was very closed off with Figma slides. I've been using Figma for years, and when they came up with Figma slides, I don't know, I was like a bit iffy on it. I didn't see like the point of it, but then I tried it and I actually love it. It's super easy to use. It works exactly like Figma, obviously. So since I'm in the process, I'm gonna show you what I've done and I'm gonna explain it a bit. This is what I used to have. I used to have like everything in a Figma file, but I created this. This is the template, so you can see, wait, hold on, this is wrong. This is like the English version and this is the Spanish version here. So here you have two options for the cover page. You have this one or you have this one. I personally have this one and I put like my brand pattern here so it looks a bit more, with more personality. I also have here my logo type and stuff, but this is a template, so everything's just with placeholder text. Then you have the About Me page, in which you have here a couple of prompts to write what you need. Here you have the projects. I always recommend having a maximum of like 6 projects. So here you can have all of the projects. This is the like case study page. So here you would put a picture with like the results, project information, and then just like the deliverables, and then here the picture. So as you can see, everything is very simple and very minimal, because I feel like when you're creating a portfolio, you want your projects to shine and to tell the story, not just like the colors you choose your presentation to be. So everything's very white, very clean, with very like geometric space, so that then when you add the images here, your work really speaks for itself. So yeah, here you have a lot of different layouts for the project's design. Then you have a logo folio for word marks and brand marks. I feel like if you're a brand designer, this is very useful because not all clients understand the importance of a visual identity at first. So having just a place with your logos can also nudge them in the right direction. Then you have a space for the testimonials, also very important to include testimonials in your portfolio, and next steps with your social media or your contact information here. So yeah, here you have the same thing with like the Spanish version of the template. So it's very easy to customize. You literally just click in here design mode or slides mode. I always click design mode so you can like customize every single thing. Everything has auto layout, so it'll, you know, expand properly and you won't have to do a lot of work. And here I also have like the, let me zoom, and here you also have like the styles here. So if you change one of these colors, like everything will change. So you just need to change it once and then the whole presentation will have a new color. If you're interested in getting the template, I'll leave a link down below to my shop, and there you can also get a lot of free resources and just freebies that I have for you. So if you're interested, just check it out. It's been a week since we last talked, but I wanted to share something a bit more personal today. Some videos ago, I shared that I was getting into like an active routine again and exercising more because I had a lot going on in the last like year and a half. I just didn't have any time to exercise. I didn't prioritize myself. So I was feeling very drained and very burnt out, very low energy. I've always been an active person. Like I always walk everywhere and I always try and, I don't know, take the stairs instead of the elevator. But yeah, this past like couple of months I was not feeling like doing anything. So since quitting my 9-to-5 and just focusing full-time on my design business, I now have a lot more free time and I want to prioritize again my health and my well-being. So I decided to work out consistently and go to the gym, exercise, you know, do the whole thing. So I've been going to the gym regularly and that's no problem. I've always liked lifting weights, so it's something that, you know, I don't mind doing. However, I've always had a problem with cardio. I feel like I'm not mentally strong enough to do certain exercises because I whine and I just have a horrible time doing it. For instance, I've tried running a couple of times, but I always feel like I know I physically can run and be good at it. However, I just like mentally, I just can't take it. I hate running. I've always said I hate running. But like running is very cheap because you don't really need equipment. You just need running shoes. You can do it everywhere and anywhere. So if you're traveling, if you're, you know, in different places, it's not a problem. And I feel like it's a great way to test your mental strength and like your perseverance. I don't know. So I wanna you know, seriously get into running and not run like a marathon, because I know I'll never run a marathon because I don't want to do it. Just want to be able to run a couple of kilometers without feeling exhausted and like I want to quit every 3 seconds. So to motivate myself and being as impulsive as I am, I decided to sign up for a 10K race in March, so I still have like a lot of time. But I don't know, I feel like if I train towards that goal, I'll be much more inclined to run and work on like my mental strength. So I'm gonna run 4.5 kilometers today. I'm taking you along, and yeah, let's go do this. I have a love-hate relationship with project kickoff calls. I recently signed a very exciting client that wants to rebrand their business, digitize a lot of touch points, and yeah, just make their customer experience a lot better. So I'm gonna be working with them on a rebrand, a new e-commerce and website design, and then I'll also do some marketing consulting for them. That's very cool and I'm very excited for it. But since the company is quite big, there's a lot of people involved in the process, and there's also a lot of people that know nothing about branding, which is good and bad. I really try and make my projects very collaborative and very easy, in the sense that I always try and teach everyone everything about branding and marketing, because my goal is for everyone in the company to know what is branding, why is it important, and just know how to use it in the future so it's sustainable. So I always try and teach and introduce a lot of things and concepts in my kickoff calls, obviously without overwhelming the people who are going to be on the call, but I always try and teach things. So I always have so much fun in these kickoff calls because I'm able to meet everyone and explain, the key concepts, how we're going to work, just introduce a bit of like the methodology that we're going to follow, etc. However, the introvert in me has a really hard time just meeting everyone and explaining everything. Like I went to their offices a couple of weeks ago, so I've already met some of the people who are gonna be in like the project team. However, I still have to meet some people, so today is gonna be the first time I meet them online. So I'm gonna meet them online. I'm a bit nervous, but everything's gonna be fine. The meeting's in an hour and I'm now going over my notes that I have here in my notebook. I have like a presentation ready that I'll share with them. However, I always like having like a summary of how I want the meeting to progress. So this is what I use to prepare my meetings. I just have 3 sections. The first one is topics of discussion, so things that I want to talk with the client, and kind of like a table of contents for what the flow of the meeting will be like. Then we have the questions to answer, so if I have any questions that came up during my research or my initial audits, I'll just write them here so that they get answered within the meeting. And then just something with next steps so that the client knows what to expect, and you or I know what I need to do when the meeting is finished. Okay, so the meeting went so well. It's gonna be a very long project, but I'm so excited and I feel like everybody was on the same page, so that's great because it'll be more collaborative and they're open to a lot of things, which is very awesome. I think I'm gonna end the vlog here. Thank you so much for watching if you've made it this far, and subscribe if you don't want to miss any of my future videos. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!